Welcome to Final Score. I'm your host, David Johnson. Alongside is my wonderful and beautiful co-host, Ms. B. Wade. So great to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And over the past few months, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the whole team for not shooting this show as regularly as we have done in the past. I have not been doing so well, so excuse me for lying. In February, the Super Bowl really got me down and under the weather when I saw Pete Carroll elect to pass that slant or go for that slant instead of giving the ball to beast mode Marshawn Lynch, who's an all-pro ever since he's been in the league. How do you feel about that game? So let me get off my box. How do you feel about that game? Do you feel Seahawks lost that game or the Patriots, won that game?
Seahawks definitely lost. There's no reason why that last play went the way it did. I feel like they should have just gone ahead and gave the ball to beast mode. He's not beast mode for no reason. Go ahead and give it to him and let him score. There was no other.
I definitely agree with you, but at the same time, you want to make it somewhat of an illusion if you're Pete Carroll and the Seahawks on that, or the coaching staff on that, whoever calls the plays. If you're going to pass that ball, it was a little congested in the middle, so I would rather you go for a nice fade to the back to that receiver, that unsung hero who kept coming up, who was catching these unbelievable passes. If not, give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Of course, if you're going to give the ball, if you're going to pass the ball, okay, maybe pass it one play on first down, but be safe with it. Even if you elected to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch 4 times and you didn't get it 4 times, I'm okay with that because it's Marshawn Lynch. That's your horse. That's your bread and butter. Don't elect to go from him, go to him. That's my deal on it.
All right. Well, take it away from NFL. Let's bring it a little bit home. Do you think that Coach Wilson for Savannah State should be on the hot seat, judging by, the past seasons?
Well, just a little rundown for the people who don't know who Coach Wilson is. He was hired on, I believe, June 7, 2013. 2013, he won 1 game. 2014, he won none. So that's a total of 1-23 in 2 years. I'm not going to be the one to say Coach Wilson should be fired. There's a lot that goes on into a college program. You have to get players to buy into your system. You have to have coaches to be serious about your system. I would have to shadow Coach Wilson day in and day out to know what exactly he's telling his players, his system he's bringing in to say that he should be on the hot seat. Sometimes programs and regimes take longer than expected or longer than planned to get up and running. My biggest problem with Savannah State's football team is that I don't think they should have moved up to Division I. I think they should have stayed at Division II and played teams like Albany State, Fort Valley, Claflin, teams like that on those levels, and then come up occasionally to play bigger schools as they do the Oklahoma States. They should have done that to play higher MEAC and SWAC teams. How do you feel about that? Well,
to take what you just said, that you feel like it takes time to get a team ready, how much time do you need? Like, how much time do you really need?
That's a good question. I think that's one that you should ask athletic director, a person who directly oversees the head coach. But I'm not 30. If he's fired after this year, I won't be mad. So maybe 3 years sometimes. I think sometimes you have to be lenient with some of these coaches.
I feel like 3 is a good number because the first year you have where you came into the program that is already running. Second year is your chance to make it yours. Third year, it is definitely your chance. Like, that is the last chance.
I definitely agree. But like I said, just give him 1 more year.
Okay.
Let's see if we can win 3 or 4 games. 3 or 4 games is definitely more than you won in the past 2 years. That's an improvement. There's obviously someone buying into your system. I've heard word on the street that there's a 6'8" quarterback coming in. Obviously, he can see up the line, but I hope he's strong because the games that I went to, you only have 2 or 3 seconds to throw the ball.
Yes, exactly.
So that can be a dilemma. We switch over back to a higher grade of football. We go to the NFL.
Okay.
And my favorite receiver, Des Bryant, over the past few months has been in a bind somewhat with the Cowboys over whether he should be franchise tagged or not. How do you feel about the situation?
I feel like I don't blame him for being angry and the way that he reacted because you are one of the best in the NFL. And why not get paid your worth? If I'm out there putting in all this time and all this work, that needs to be reflected on my paycheck. That's just like in a job. If you are a waitress, okay, and you busting all these tables and all this stuff, wouldn't you want good tips?
I would.
You don't want to get $1 tip for going above and beyond for your customer. You want that maximum amount, which I would at least $15, you know?
But the thing, I think a lot of people neglect the notion of a franchise tag. It's not a deduction in your pay. A franchise tag is simply for 1 year you're binded to that team. So in your when you're coming up on free agency, that team can keep you for 1 year without you seeing any other teams or anything like that. You're still getting paid.
Okay.
So I think Dez Bryant should understand that this is a business. I think this ultimately helps in this maturation process. And as we see DeMarco Murray went to the Eagles, therefore Jerry Jones should be more lenient and more willing to give Dez Bryant the money he deserves. And I think that's a perfect segue to go into this next topic, which is like the Cowboys and the Bills have made early offseason moves before the draft. Who do you think is the early offseason winners and losers thus far?
I just feel like the Super Bowl will be, I feel like, judging by the Super Bowl this past year, the Seahawks will be coming back for vengeance. Like, there's no other way I can see it. They need to come out ready to play to show that they should have won and that there's nobody that can stop them. Now, going off what you said with DeMarco Murray, I feel like the Eagles just gained a very great player. So they're going to use that, not to mention that the Eagles are the rival conference to the Cowboys. So I just feel like Seahawks and the Eagles are the top two teams that they need to look forward to next season.
I agree with one of those teams, not the other one. I agree with the Seahawks because they just got Jimmy Graham, the huge tight end from the Saints, who's he's the heir apparent seems like to Tony Gonzalez from years and years on. That's the first team because they lost nothing else. The second team would be the 49ers because they beefed up their front line. They'll get a healthy Aldon Smith back. Justin Smith, I believe he's contemplating retirement, but will still come back. You also have, like I said, Donnell Docker, who came over from the Cardinals. The next team is, I'm a big Rex Ryan fan, so I believe the Buffalo Bills getting that addition of LaShawn McCoy from the Philadelphia Eagles will pay big dividends with that. And I just feel the losers this far is the New Orleans Saints because since the Spygate or the Bounty, since the Bounty situation happening, everything has been down. Drew Brees, he's been injury prone somewhat. We've seen a little flaws. I think that age is coming out. It could be the same thing with Peyton Manning. You know, these quarterbacks we thought will last for years and years on end seem to be slowly but surely deteriorating, and I think that's a sign. That ended this first segment, and when we come back, we'll talk something that'll be happening pre-Cinco de Mayo. $47 million, $74 million on the table. We'll be right back.
Yes, you want that island taste? Well, come on down to Sweet and Spice where everything's nice. Where you can dine in or take out. We deliver, we cater. We have curry goat and jerk chicken for the low. So come on down for the taste of island home. Yes, that's right, Sweet and Spice where everything's nice. Now open late, bullet.
Welcome back to Final Score. We start off this segment talking about the fight of the century, which includes Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., which can bring in about almost $500 million. As we know, Pacquiao has had some tough losses recently. Floyd Mayweather 47-0, 26 knockouts, 21 decisions. How do you feel about this fight? Who do you think will win and why?
Who do I think will win?
Who do you think will win?
Is that a question?
It is.
Is that even...
And it's relevant.
Like, is that even a question to ask? Who was going to go against Mayweather? Like, okay, yeah, Pacquiao, he's quick, he's fast, but is he undefeated?
He is.
But is he like Mayweather?
Can he not lose?
Pacquiao?
Mayweather. Can Mayweather not lose? No one's perfect. Anything can happen.
He ain't losing this fight. He might lose the next one, but he's not losing this one. I feel like the hype is too big for him to lose. Like, he's risking everything. Like, the hype is too big for him to lose. No, I don't care. There is no question. I'm not. So go ahead and say what you say, but no.
I don't think Mayweather is risking anything by the fight. I think Mayweather would be risking everything by not fighting him. First of all, you would probably be leaving almost $300 million on the table. That is a very big risk. I don't know about you, but I can do a lot with $300 million. That's
what?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 generations that I can feed off $300 million for one fight.
So you telling me that you think Pacquiao is going to be Mayweather?
No. See, you messing with my words. I never said that. Never said that.
Okay.
I do think Mayweather will win that one, but
all right.
I think that's enough of our opinion for this specific topic. We'll shoot it out to the guys on the man on the street.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view, let's get ready to rumble!
I feel like Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight only because, you know, he's undefeated, he's a great fighter, he's well-rounded, and the toughness of his chin and the quickness of his hands, I really don't think Manny Pacquiao stands a chance, honestly.
Pacquiao's going to win.
Why?
The best pound-for-pound fighter.
I'm going Pacquiao, just because I want to see Mayweather lose one time, just one time.
I think Pacquiao might blow us now.
I think Mayweather is going to fight. He's a counter-puncher. He's a better defensive fighter, and he got more hands than Pacquiao. Pacquiao old, and then Mayweather's in the prime, so that's why I think Mayweather will win the fight.
I think Floyd Mayweather will win because everybody knows Floyd Mayweather, and he wins mostly on his fights.
You just lose one time, just be good, yeah. Everybody want to be all up on him. Yeah, can't take that right.
Pacquiao's gonna win the fight. He's gonna end the streak with Mayweather and his rap. That's it.
I think that Mayweather is gonna beat Pacquiao again.
Why?
Because Mayweather's fine. He's just that dude. And, he don't lose.
Why? I'm playing devil's advocate here. I know everybody going for Floyd Mayweather, so I'm gonna be the one that's going for Pacquiao.
I got Mayweather. Yeah, I like Mayweather because he having hands. That's a hitter now. That's a real deal hitter. I studied his move myself personally.
Pacquiao got no hitter too now, but you know, Mayweather a beast.
I like Mayweather. I got 10 on Mayweather. What y'all want to do?
Oh no, I think he probably
I got Pac-Man. Pac-Man's too fast. Floyd ain't never experienced foot speed or hand speed like Pacquiao. He was scared to fight him for the past couple 10 years. He was afraid, man. He afraid of Pac-Man, man. He know he gonna take that L. That's why he waited so long. You feel what I'm saying? That's all. It is what it is, man.
May 2nd, the fight of the century.
And just what I thought, pretty much everyone thought Mayweather would win that fight, and rightfully so, but we'll see come May 2nd. Switch to a different topic, which is the NBA. And over the past few months, there's been a lot of talk about the NBA or the MVP race. I've heard LeBron James coming towards the latter end. I've heard Steph Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Who do you feel is deserving of the MVP and why?
Oh, Curry. Gotta go with my man Steph. Steph Curry with a shot. How can you beat that? Like, how can you beat that? But if not Curry, then it's got to be Westbrook.
If not Curry, then Westbrook. But I do like your Drake verse, Curry with the wrist work. I understand that one a lot. I think all the contestants, all the athletes are worthy of it. If any one of them win, I wouldn't be mad. I think right now, I think people are tired of LeBron James winning. Personally, not me. I still think he's the best player in the NBA, overall player in the NBA. I would like to see Russell Westbrook, I think, winning more than anyone else just because he's shown his worth and what he can do without Kevin Durant. They're still winning. They're still a formidable team. It's still a formidable task to take them down. He's shown that he's truly unguardable. I don't know a person in the NBA, the China League, the D-League, anybody who can stay in front of him. So I personally think it's Russell Westbrook. James Harden has put up some gaudy numbers as well, but he's all offense. And he seems to only exert a certain amount of energy on offense only. We'll stay right on the NBA, but we'll switch over to the NBA playoffs because that's quickly approaching. Who do you feel like is that team who, come playoff time, will be hitting on all cylinders?
Don't sleep on them Hawks now. Now, usually, you know how the Hawks, they've been starting out strong. They start out strong, then playoff times, you never hear about them. But I just have a feeling that this year might be that year. I feel like it's going to be that year.
I disagree.
Oh.
Again, I think the Hawks will have a great regular season, which currently they are the first team to clinch a home playoff pretty much throughout the whole playoffs. I do think they will subside come the playoffs. I do think the Golden State Warriors are a team to look out for.
Definitely.
I think the mixture with the Splash Brothers and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, along with Draymond Green, with the emergence of Maurice Spates, I do think that is big. I do think the Thunder will make some noise too. I think one of the biggest and more underrated picks or transactions over the year was them with that 3-team trade, I believe, sending Reggie Jackson to Detroit, getting Enes Kanter from Utah, and now bringing him with the combination of Collison, Serge Ibaka, and now Enes Kanter to give them some rough, rugged activity down low. And you can never count out the duo of Kyrie, LeBron James, and Kevin Love. So I think those 3 teams are good teams to look out for. Now, as far as LeBron James and Kevin Love, how do you feel about that turmoil relationship? Do you feel like that will get better, or do you feel like that will slowly get Kevin Love out of town?
LeBron is a leader. Okay, Kevin Love is not really a leader like LeBron is, you know?
Right.
So I feel like that whole relationship that they have is going to eventually come together, because the person that LeBron is and the way that Kevin Love plays, I feel like they can actually work off each other.
I definitely feel the same way. I couldn't have said that part better to myself. And you have to honestly think Kevin Love's been in the NBA, what, 6-7 years? He's been to the playoffs 0 times. So the magnitude of player LeBron James is may get up under his skin. He may not understand some of the things LeBron James does. He doesn't understand the different nuances of becoming a winner. That's almost the same thing with Kobe Bryant and how he ran certain players out of town. But some players just don't have that pedigree. Some people just don't have that, intentional fortitude to keep pushing through that. But before we continue to go on and bloviate, we'll come back and bring it back home. We'll talk a little bit of SSU basketball, women's basketball predominantly, and then we'll end the segment out with some March Madness and your bracketology, because I know no one is getting that money because your bracket is messed up. We'll come right back.
Savannah State, a school that's full of Tiger pride, from its customer service, active student body, and athletics. Tigers excel not only in the classroom, but on the competitive field as well. Heart, determination, skill. These are the true marks of a competitive Tiger. In between these lines, on the competitive field, this is where the Tigers compete. SSU Athletics. Buy your tickets today.
My name is Ezine Kalu. I'm number 23. I'm a shooting guard for Savannah State Lady Tigers.
Finished in the MEAC, not only the MEAC, but also the conference with above 500 wins. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel like we've accomplished a lot ever since I've been here. Ever since I came here in 2010, I feel like we came a long way from the team we used to have, and coach rebuilding the team so much. So I'm grateful about the victories that we had, and even some losses that we took, but I'm happy about it.
And some people say this is probably the best Lady Tigers ever. Or how you feel about that?
It makes me feel, I try to remain humble, but I feel like in the back of my head, I'll be thinking, well, yeah, they might be right, because this is one of the best seasons we had here at Savannah State Ladies Tigers wise. So yeah, I can agree with people when they say that.
And you broke the record against Howard, 2,000 point mark. How did you feel when you heard the news for the first time?
It was crazy, because when I heard it the first time, my mom had told me, she's like, Ezzy, you 1996 points? I'm like, really, Mom? She's like, you only need 4 points for 2,000. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm not going to read about myself. I want to wait till the information to give it to me. So when she told me about it, I was like, wow. So when I got the award and I got knowledge for it, it was a great experience. I mean, it's not nothing I'm not used to, because I did that in high school as well. But now that I'm able to accomplish it in college, that's big.
Yeah, that's really big. College, of course. And I've noticed, because you see me standing right there at the side watching you guys play, I've noticed your game's a little
you know, compared to Sky Diggers, I would say a little bit. I'm like very attractive, you know, moving in, get aggressive, and then take shots when she needs to. Would you say you model your game after a little bit?
Sky Diggers is a great player. I mean, of course, she's one of the great models that I do look up to as far as basketball-wise. I wouldn't say my game is just like hers. I mean, we do have that competitive spirit. We do have that emotional side of the game. We two different players, but I would definitely continue to look up to her.
All right, so who would you say is your favorite basketball player?
I love Kathy Pondexter for being She got traded, but it's okay with Kathy Pondexter. Yep.
That's actually, you know, interesting. I thought you was gonna say a guy like LeBron James, Michael Jordan. You actually end up saying a girl. Why them? Instead?
I feel like the women don't get enough recognition. I mean, you always hear girls and guys saying, "Oh, LeBron, Kobe, Joe Michael played." No, what about the women that's balling? What about the women that's putting us on the map, like putting girls like me on the map? So, Kathy Pondexter, she's raw. She got a kill on her.
All right, when you first picked up a basketball, or when did you even first pick up a basketball and realize this is what you wanted to do?
That probably happened in 4th grade, because to be honest, I didn't want to play basketball. I wanted to be a cheerleader. And my mom was like, "No, play basketball." We started playing basketball, and I just stuck with it. I've loved the sport. I've been playing basketball since 3rd grade now, nonstop.
Wow. So speaking of your parents, you know, you're born in New Jersey, kind of rep that a lot, but your other half, your father's from Nigeria. Would you say that's where you get some of your athleticism from?
Yes, I do. I can definitely say that. My mom helped me as well, but having that ethnic in me, having that little extra descent in me really helps my athleticism. My dad is tall too. He's not really athletic, but he's tall, so I kind of connect with him on that level. But yeah, I guess that helps.
What would you say would be your biggest game?
Here at Savannah State, I would say all of them.
All of them? I
feel like all of them. The games, I feel like every night I gotta come out and keep up that intensity and work hard to my percent all the time. No matter if we're playing somebody that's small enough, no matter if we're playing somebody big than us, I have to come out. I have to have a big game.
All right, your biggest game to me that I've been watching is probably Florida Gators, because they are a big school, and I realized watching from down the floor, I was like, this girl's going ham. You put up 21 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals. What was going through your head?
That moment for me was crazy. Before the game, I told myself, I said, listen, you playing against a group of girls that people know that in the back of my mind that their team might beat you. But I said, no, that's not true. We can beat these girls. They listen about sneakers the same way. They put their jerseys on the same way we do. They warm up like we do. They sweat like we do. They're no different. So we had to come out and play. And my main focus was, we got to beat these girls. We got to keep pushing that and make it tight. Anything that we can do to win that game. And I sacrificed my body. I sacrificed doing anything little I can, defensive and offensive and talking, communicating, just keeping that team chemistry.
That's great.
Pulled out that win.
That's great. And with such noise that you're making, a lot of people don't know. Does it bother you a little bit that a lot of people don't recognize you too much, don't realize the great awareness that the Lady Tigers are doing this year?
It doesn't surprise me at all, because so many people, with the boys have accomplished so much, everybody still has their focus on the boys. So the girls are kind of not in the shine. They're in the limelight. They're the ones who people don't talk about. They'll probably talk about over lunch, or someone say, "Oh, hey, you know about Lady Tigers?" But there's nobody pumped up saying, "Oh, you want the girls game tonight?" There's nobody doing that. So I'm just ready to win this match. So people, oops, we already won, right? My bad.
The season's about over, so they're over. Yeah. So yeah, so you already up.
I'm just.
Yeah, it's okay. But so Sally, it's your senior year. So what do you plan to do after this?
After college, after I get my degree, May graduate 2015. I'll definitely consider myself going overseas. I do want to play in the league, but I want to take my time overseas, some play a couple seasons, and then see what the WNBA is talking about. The WNBA not going nowhere.
I say it's really not. As long as you see yourself going there, you really have a bright future there.
Yeah.
All right, just for the fans, tell us something that the fans don't know about you. Most people don't know you do.
That's kind of hard. I'm real chill. I'm laid back. I'm the kind of person you can talk to about anything. I'm just that funny person. When you see me in the court, I may look mad or angry or standoffish, but
that's just Chris.
Yeah, that's the tiger in me, that's the killer in me. But off the court, I'm just like how I am now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a great sit-down with our producer and our co-host, Mr. Femi Oladimeji with Savannah State women's guard, Ezinne Kalu. As we know, she talked about sitting or playing overseas before her travels and her journey, or possibly to the WNBA. Do you feel like that's worth it? Do you feel like she's the caliber and talented enough player to consider even going to the WNBA?
I do. I think off defense alone, she's a great defender, especially on ball and even off ball. She knows how to play the passing lane and things of that nature. Offensively, I think she needs to work on finishing around the rim. I know that sometimes she has a tendency not to just throw it up there, but, you know, just a little control. But outside of that, maybe improve her three-point shot, which isn't a strength. But I think she has an excellent chance of playing in the WNBA.
Ms. B-Way?
Of course she can play in WNBA. But like she said before, she want to go overseas. I feel like she's go overseas to get that experience, because going straight into the NBA, she's going to be playing against girls that's coming from teams like South Carolina. And although she did good in that game, but will she consistently do good? I feel like overseas will give her that experience and that knowledge a little bit more to do good in the NBA. I mean WNBA.
And first of all, I'm remiss if I don't say this. Please forgive me for all the fans out there watching the show. I didn't introduce the second co-host here on today. Although she's a familiar face, Miss Tricity Miller, thank you for joining us on today. Will you please forgive me? Please.
It's all money.
Okay, thank you. And for my opinion on Ms. Kalu and what she should do, I think she's going down the right path. I think she reminds me of several college players who came before her, maybe a little bit of Shannon Bobbitt from Tennessee, maybe a little Lexus Hornbuckle, a little bit of Cappy Pondexter with that energy, that tenacity, to go along with that. So I definitely do think that she should continue that travel, and she's going in the right direction. And it's funny because years ago, or a few years ago, when the men won the MEAC, the women were a distant second between, you know, who we really wanted to watch. I really didn't want to go to the women's games. Now they picked up the pace. They have different players coming in. They're playing with a little bit more energy, a little bit more confidence. And it's good to see that with this year. They went 21-11. Of course, they lost by 61 to South Carolina earlier in the season. And they lost by 33 for their first game of the season, which is a good thing because it's a start, you know, toward the end of the season, at the end of the season. And it's a good start because it's showing progression, and you know, with progression comes growth, and with growth comes more revenue, more recruits, and more excitement about the next season. Do you feel like Savannah State's women program is on the up and up, or do you feel like this was a fluke and this is something that will happen on this year?
Definitely on the up and up. It'll take great recruiting from Coach Baker, because he's replacing arguably 3 of his 4 best players, in Kalu, Bria Dorsey, the point guard, who also was great on defense, and Jasmine Norman, who was there. Manu Ginobili off the bench, he comes in and puts up points on the board. But as a coach, he's done it before, obviously, bringing in this talent now. So if he can replace the guards and maybe shift the focus to Tiana Davis next year, who showed a lot of promise in the South Carolina game, though she was too small. Their girls, South Carolina girls, were just
pretty huge.
They were tall, and Coach talked about that after the game. But I feel like he has to just go back to their recruiting more players, and then from there, you know.
I feel like he needs to recruit people that have experience. Going for the freshman class, no, he needs to get JUCO players, people that's already played and have experience doing that. And just like you said, like before, they play as a team. That's what makes them different from all the other seasons. They play together. When one person messes up, the next one's right behind you, getting it on defense. When Ezinne misses a layup, Bria's running back on defense to stop that. And that's what I like about this team. So this season, arguably their best season. It can only get better from here. You can only get better.
I agree with both of your points, but the point I think you made, B-Way, that really resonated with me with JUCO players, because sometimes those players, they've had things that happened in the past that make them even more hungry once they get to that college that chose them over the other college who overlooked them. And I'm glad we stopped there, because that's the perfect segue into the men's NCAA tournament. We've had March Madness, baby. We got Dickie V, we got Bill Raftery, we got Clark Kellogg, we got Kenny Smith, we got Charles Barkley, we got the whole 9 yards, the whole shebang, the smorgasbord. We got it all out there for you, okay? We've got Kentucky with 37, 36-0. Calipari bringing the freshmen, take them right back out, bring them in. New stock. We've got Bo Ryan, Wisconsin. We've got a plethora of teams who seem to be formidable tags. Who do we feel will be in the Final Four and then in the future will take it off of this year?
Duke, because they arguably have the best player in college basketball in Jahlil Okafor.
He's the key to their defense.
Kentucky, and really, I don't think any other team can come between those two. I think on one end, you're going to have Jahlil Okafor. On the other hand, you're going to have Cauley Stein and Karl Towns. And we'll get the best final game that we've had in years. Hopefully.
Personally, I don't even care about the Final Four. I'm just ready for the championship, which is Kentucky all the way. Kentucky they are going to win. But to answer your question, I feel like Wisconsin for the West because, like you said, they've been working hard. They've been playing better than what I expected them to do when the season first started. And Louisville is Louisville. The coach, I have to go with Louisville. And for the South,
it's got to be Duke.
I'm just going, I'm going to agree with her. It's got to be Duke.
It's got to go with Duke.
I don't see anybody else coming from that. But, yeah.
As usual, you both make great points, but I slightly disagree. Slightly, just a little bit. Don't chew my head off. Kentucky, of course, I have them in the Final Four. I have Wisconsin in the Final Four. I have Michigan State in the Final Four, beating Louisville, and I have Duke in the Final Four. Now, Kentucky and Duke in the championship, I would definitely pay to be at that game, front row, press box right behind, the sports announcers. I do think Kentucky would take that on. You mentioned the task and the lineup against with Okafor and Karl Anthony Towns. I do think that would be a great matchup. That would be probably the best matchup I have seen all year if that happened. I do think Kentucky would take it for a plethora of reasons, a multitude of reasons. One of them is because Jahlil Okafor has no help. You have Willie Cauley-Stein after what's his name?
Anthony Towns.
After Towns. You have number 44, the other power forward, the sophomore coming off the bench. You have
don't forget my twins now. Don't forget my twins.
But they're in the backcourt, baby. They don't hang with the big dogs.
Don't forget my twins now.
They matter.
They do.
They matter.
Don't forget my twins.
I'll tell you one thing about that. I don't want to, downplay their potential, but I'm glad they came back for another year. And they should probably think about coming back for their junior year.
I'm leaving.
You're leaving? You're going for the cash flow.
Yeah. And they'll get better in the NBA playing against NBA caliber guards instead of the me's and you's of the world.
Me's and you's? I think you're rather pedestrian. I think I'm all pro. But, that's for another show. We won't even go there. So you have Kentucky, no doubt.
Easy.
You have Kentucky.
All the way.
I have Kentucky, I'll say 75-68. I think it'll be a rather close game. So, but we'll see there. That's a few weeks away, a couple weeks away, really. It's be here before you know it. That's another great episode of The Final Score. I'm your host, like I said, David Johnson. Glad you stayed tuned. Hope you liked everything you heard. And as we sign out, could you wonderful ladies just sign off again for me, please?
Bye, everybody.
Don't forget, B-Wave. Nice to be here.